No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of WWE NXT Vengeance Day 2024, the first NXT premium live event of the new year. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. NXT continues to roll as we head into WrestleMania 40. Let's get started with this recap. We had 6 matches. The first one was a tag team match, the Dusty Rhodes Cup final. Baron Corbin, bum-ass Baron Corbin, and Bron Breakker against Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. It was a good match. Now, Corbin and Breakker were definitely on the same page. They both rode down to the ring on motorcycles. It was a little sloppy at times, and there was one point where somehow Bron Breakker did not snap his neck. He ran really fast into the ropes, and his neck got caught on the other side of the top rope. It was nasty looking, but he turned out to be okay. And he did do some cool things in this match. He did this back suplex into a cutter. He came off the top rope to the outside with a swanton. Bron Breakker was definitely in beast mode for this match. Breakker and Corbin, they worked over Carmelo for a while. And then Trick Williams got a hot tag. He was on fire for a while. Then Breakker came back in. Breakker started kicking butt again. Breakker took Corbin, and Corbin did something we usually don't see from him. Breakker helped launch Corbin over the top rope onto Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, who were on the outside of the ring. And then back in the ring, Carmelo attempted to save Trick Williams from Bron Breakker's spear, and in the process, Hayes took the bullet. He's the one that got speared. Now, unfortunately, Carmelo was the legal man. He got pinned, which means Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin are your 2024 Dusty Rhodes Cup tournament winners. Like I said, solid match here to open up the show, and this was double duty for Trick Williams. He lost this match. Could he come back and win the NXT Championship? More on that in a few moments. We had Dijak versus Joe Gacy in a no DQ match. You know I approve of those. Good match here with these guys. I will say this. I think Joe Gacy has one of the best entrance theme songs of anybody in WWE, and especially in NXT right now. I noticed that for a lot of the people on this show, if I didn't see their name on the big screen and I just heard the music, I would not know who they are. With Joe Gacy, I feel like his music is the most interesting of most wrestlers in NXT right now. I just wanted to mention that. And this was an entertaining, hardcore match with these guys. Lots of weapons involved, as you might expect. Dijak was placed on a chair outside of the ring. Joe Gacy jumped off the steel steps with a cannonball. And then Joe Gacy pulled out a table from under the ring. He set it up, and he put some toys like little cars and Legos on the table. I mean, WWE is PG. You can't do the thumbtack, so you have to use the toys instead. And Gacy was able to give Dijak basically an avalanche suplex, used some kendo sticks, and then he put Dijak through that table. Dijak was on the apron. Dijak got knocked off, crashed through the table with the toys on it. So Gacy was getting in a lot of offense, and Gacy had some duct tape, and he wrapped it around the eyes of Dijak. And at one point, Dijak hit his big move, the Feast Your Eyes, but literally could not see in order to make the cover. He took off the duct tape, and Gacy took advantage. Gacy came off the top of the big splash. Dijak kicked out, and eventually Dijak was able to pick up the win, clear vision, hit the Feast Your Eyes, and got the 1-2-3 victory. Good stuff here with these guys. Like I said, entertaining match. And next up, we had a 6-person tag team match. We had the family, Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, and Adrianna Rizzo against OTM. I guess it's like a Grand Theft Auto spoof. I recognize the logo. Never really played the games or anything, but I do recognize the logo. And it was a good match. It was basically a TV match. I don't really think it needed to be on this show. Like, as you guys know that have been watching for a long time, I was a big fan of the old black and gold 5-match format. I don't think you need 6 matches, so this would have been the one I would have cut out, but it's a different era, and they want to try to give people a spot on the pay-per-view. It was good, but it was basically a TV match, standard tag match. You had Scripps, who was formerly Reggie, on the main roster. He's part of the OTM group, and he was interfering during this match. And as typical in these mixed tag matches, the women fight the women, men fight the men. But at one point, Rizzo slapped one of the family members, and it was Parker who slapped D'Angelo, and then Rizzo came in. So that's what happened. And then D'Angelo took Stacks and launched him to the outside onto OTM. And Rizzo then came off the top rope, jumping onto everybody on the outside. And then D'Angelo got rid of Scripps and pinned Price to score the victory. We had our NXT Women's Championship match, Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez, 1-on-1. Back and forth match here. Good match here with them. It was very competitive. They were mat wrestling, and it was anybody's match. But then Roxanne was perhaps on the verge of winning the title. She hit her Pop Rocks finisher, and then all of a sudden, Lola Vice came out there. Now, Lola Vice won the breakout tournament, and because of that, she got like a Money in the Bank type contract where she can cash in and get a title match. She chose to do it here, which some people on social media were like, why didn't she wait for a better opportunity, even though Roxanne hit her big move? Like, it was maybe early enough in the match where there could have been a kick out. Maybe she should have waited for a better opportunity, but nonetheless, she came out there, cashed it in, and it officially became a triple threat match. And Lola was not able to get the win despite cashing in and being the fresh challenger. You had outside interference from Tatum Paxley, who basically cost Roxanne the match. Roxanne was on the verge of winning again, and Tatum Paxley came in, and then Lyra was able to hit her finisher, the Night Wish, on Lola, and got the 1-2-3 victory to retain her championship. Good match here, and they threw in the whole cash in to try and create some more suspense, but in the end, the champion did manage to retain. And it's not like it's Money in the Bank where it's really a big deal that the person failed to cash in. It's just the NXT breakout tournament and their little version of Money in the Bank. So no big deal here as far as I'm concerned. And then we had the North American Championship match. Oba Femi, who is somebody I haven't really seen much of, he just basically burst into the scene and won the North American Championship. He defended against Dragon Lee, which, I mean, I expected the new champ to retain here. Dragon Lee's been basically promoted to the main roster, so he's just here to help out the new guy. And Lee really had to use his speed here. It was basically the speed versus the power of Oba Femi, and Lee came off the top with a double foot stomp. Femi was able to recover from that, and he used his power. He threw Lee around for a while. Lee almost got counted out at one point, and eventually Lee was able to make his comeback. Could not put Femi away. He had a lot of his signature moves. He even busted out a sit-down power bomb out of the corner. Femi kicked out of that. And then Femi took Lee outside of the ring, slammed him onto one of the announce chairs, got him back in the ring, power bombed Lee, and picked up the 1-2-3 victory. So nice little showing here for Oba Femi, retaining his championship. Got a $5 super chat here from G-Thang, which is off topic. I will get to that in a moment regarding Cody Rhodes. You know, I did talk about the whole situation on the SmackDown recap, and I'm sure I'll be talking about it a little bit more here in just a few minutes. Shout out to good old GM, not the GM, but JM, Jeff Meacham, who sent in $2. He just wanted to say a quick hi. Says, miss you, No DQ Galaxy. Have a good week. Much love to you, good old JM, Jeff Meacham. GM of the Jeff Meacham Network. There you go. We had our main event of the evening. Ilja Dragunov going up against Trick Williams for the title. This was Trick Williams' second match of the evening against the champion. Carmelo Hayes was out there at ringside to support his friend. And this was a hell of a match with these guys. I mean, Dragunov does not miss. I mean, you talk about Melo not missing. Dragunov doesn't miss in these pay-per-view matches and really any matches, period. And Trick Williams had a really good showing here. They were hitting hard, and both guys got busted open the hard way very early in the match. Dragunov had a busted nose. Williams's mouth was busted open, and Dragunov gave him a DVD on the apron. Carmelo had to check in on Williams and try to get him back into it. And it was back and forth with these two. And then on the outside of the ring, things got heated between Dragunov and Carmelo. And Carmelo ended up taking a swing at Dragunov, but missing. Dragunov shoved Carmelo towards Williams, and Carmelo accidentally clipped the knee of his friend Williams. Despite this, Williams was able to stay in it, and Williams was able to use an H-bomb, which is typically Dragunov's move, on Dragunov, but Dragunov kicked out, and then Dragunov came off the top with an avalanche H-bomb. Williams kicked out of that. Williams started to make a comeback. He got like his third or fourth wind here, and then the referee got knocked down. You know we got to have a ref bump in these main events. Referee down. Williams hit the trick knee, but the referee was down. And he had the win. Like the fans were counting. It was like a 6 or 7 count. A second referee ran down, but enough time had passed. Dragunov was able to kick out. And then Dragunov regained control. He came off the top with an avalanche H-bomb. Williams, though, got his knees up this time. And then they both went for their big move at the same time, and Dragunov just barely managed to get it. Torpedo Moscow fell on top of Williams, got the 1-2-3 victory to retain his championship. So Williams, unfortunately, 0-2 on this show. Very good match here to close out the pay-per-view, the premium live event. And then WWE attempted to do the swerve this time. But, I mean, I think a lot of us were figuring Carmelo was going to turn against Williams at some point. And a lot of people thought it was going to be this show, maybe in this match. But WWE did the old roll the credits, and then we get the swerve. Unfortunately, it's been done so many times now that, I mean, you see them standing in the ring and you're just waiting for it. So it's like the end credits doesn't work anymore. Like, we all knew it was coming. And sure enough, Carmelo turned against Trick Williams after the match. And to WWE's credit, they were able to find fans in the crowd that were very shocked by this. And it did get a lot of heat. Carmelo grabbed a steel chair and started just hitting Williams in his bad knee repeatedly with the chair. And there was actually an FU Mello chant and a Mello sucks chant. So he definitely got the heat for the heel turn. And he was yelling out, you people did this to me. You're the reason for this. So there you go. Carmelo officially turns heel against Trick Williams. And Mr. Anderson sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Mr. Anderson. Says, I give it a B+. Carmelo turning on Trick Williams was great. Got a lot of heat at the end of the show and leaving Carmelo to tell us why on Tuesday. Well, apparently the people drove him to it, but we'll see what he says on Tuesday. Why Melo? Why? And yeah, they got a great reaction out of the turn. It was predictable, but I mean, it was inevitable that this was the route it was going. People have been expecting it for a while now, and they finally pulled the trigger on it. So B+. I mean, I thought it was a good show. I wouldn't go that high. I'm thinking like a B for this show. It was good. But, like, I don't think even the main event, which was very good, I wouldn't put it in the match of the year contendership. And I know we're early in the year, but I feel like we're going to have bigger matches as the year goes on. Like, it was very good. And like I said, Dragunov always delivers. Rest of the show was good. Like, I don't think there was any match that I would say was a match of the year contender, but it was a very solid show. Hence, I think a B is a fair grade for it. Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Dwayne. Says, Oba Femi is the new Goldberg, I think. He's definitely a powerhouse. I mean, maybe WWE can do with him what AEW failed to do with Powerhouse Hobbs and make this guy a real machine. Kind of make him what AEW should have made out of Powerhouse Hobbs or Brian Cage or Wardlow. Definitely has some real potential. You know, he's very early in his career, but people think that there could very well be something in this guy. And he definitely has that intensity that we're seeing from guys like Braun Breaker. And I mean, he has a shot. We'll see. We'll see if he's able to develop and grow as a character over the next couple of years here in NXT. And yeah, the big news, of course, Cody Rhodes giving up his WrestleMania spot to The Rock. And during NXT, they showed a graphic for the WrestleMania kickoff event, which is this coming Thursday in Las Vegas. And they're going to air it on Peacock. So it will be streaming. I'll be checking that out and posting about that on No DQ. G-Thang sent in a $5 super chat, says, out of topic, but I think it's hilarious how the Cody Rhodes crybabies are disliking WWE's recent videos, thinking it will change anything. Well, keep in mind, when fans were wanting Daniel Bryan in the main event, they were making their voices heard, and WWE did change course. Now, This is a new era, Triple H and TKO, so it's not the old regime. However, the circumstances are different in the sense that it's The Rock and not Batista. And it's also TKO. And they signed off on this. And they're trying to make the most amount of money possible. So at the end of the day, unless fans actually boycott WWE, meaning they stop attending live events and they cancel their Peacock subscriptions, I don't think there's going to be a change here. Could they do like a triple threat, or could they do Cody versus Roman on night one, or Rock versus Reigns on night one and Reigns versus Cody on night two? Yeah, they could. I would not rule anything out at this point. I mean, it's all up in the air, and this has already been a wild year. I mean, there could be more twists and turns before we even get to March. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I am very intrigued. I mean, WrestleMania season is certainly not boring. That's for damn sure. And, this could help Cody. Like, the fans are feeling even more sympathetic towards Cody than ever. I mean, it definitely feels like Daniel Bryan in that regard. We'll see what happens over the next several days. Raw is going to be a very interesting show. And for those of you asking about the No DQ review, we will be back Tuesday night. So this will be after Raw. We'll see what happens on Raw. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 1 hour before NXT. And we will talk more about this in detail and talk about Raw, give our thoughts on the situation. Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. I appreciate it. Says, you can't change course after advertising The Rock. TKO cares more about their money than they do Cody Rhodes' story, already being covered by media. Well, that's the thing. The Rock is going to be there now. Like they've already set it up. Rock will be there one way or another. I don't see The Rock just not having a match now at WrestleMania. It's happening. It's just a matter of, do they make it a triple threat, or do they do one match to main event night one and another match to main event night two? That's the big question at this point, if they decide to go in that direction. And if enough fans want Cody, maybe they'll come up with some sort of compromise. But I definitely expect The Rock to be facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania one way or another, whether it's a singles match or a triple threat. I think that's happening. And they may just stick to their guns and hope that the crowd doesn't boo Roman and The Rock out of the building. Will they? I mean, that's what a lot of people are wondering. Will the fans actually boo that match? Or will the heat die down at some point? Will Cody and Seth Rollins sell fans on their match, and fans will be like, okay, yeah, this is fine, we'll deal with it? Hard to say at this point. Anything can happen, and that's why I find it all so fascinating at this point, because there's so many people buzzing about this and talking about it. Like it's definitely a feverish atmosphere here as we head into WrestleMania. So Mr. Anderson sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, was the three-face vignette Mick Foley coming soon? No, it was not Mick Foley. So during NXT, there was a vignette hyping up these three different faces. And I don't want to really speculate, because I honestly have no idea as to who it might be. I see people talking about a couple of different names, and it's a Japanese quote. It's like, the first face you show to the world, the second face you show to your close friends and your family, the third face you never show to anyone. It is the truest reflection of who you are. We'll see who it turns out to be. That definitely got a lot of people talking, and the whole Japanese connection. I mean, there are a few names out there that people are talking about. Again, if it's Okada, I'll believe it when I see it. I still think he's going to end up in AEW if I had to make a prediction on it. But again, it's a wild year. It's 2024. Anything can happen. Never say never to anything. I mean, that is how wrestling works. Plans change, and they throw curveballs at you, and you just have to enjoy the ride. That's what I tell people, as far as WrestleMania goes, you just have to just strap in and enjoy the ride. Like, it's a fun time to watch. Like, it sucks for Cody, but maybe in the end, this will be the best thing for him. You just have to see what's going on and where this is all going to go. So that's all I got for tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in for the NXT recap. I very much appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Tell a friend. Spread the word about No DQ and the YouTube channel. I will be back after Raw to talk about the show. And then Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be on for the No DQ review. We'll discuss everything that's going on. Looking forward to the discussion. We got a great panel lined up. I think you guys will enjoy it. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Stay safe out there. Say yes to NoDQ.com. And I will see you all next time.